Hello, fellow academics, and welcome back to the next episode of Gear Haven. We're back here. This is technically the experimental version 1.0. Not entirely sure why there is some bad water on top of the bad water source in the middle of a drought. Look at that. Devs, if you ever see this, probably not what it's meant to be. I love the texture on top, but this is kind of just weird. Alright, overall we're doing okay. We do have enough food for now. We do have enough water, even though it's not a lot. And our beavers are happily building up our entire dam, which when it's in will actually be quite nice to look at. We do have one open vacancy. That's not too bad. That also means we can actually unpause the lumberjack up here, because all of these trees should be cut down. Yep. So that should be fine. Later on, we do want to probably create a connection into this area, so we don't need to manually fill it. But, you know, that's definitely future worries. All right. What else do we need to focus on? I think it would be really cool to get some more ore. Like more permanent power, and I think the way to do this would be to put a bad water discharge on top of our bad water source. However, we're lacking, I kind of want to say, pretty much everything. Have we even touched? We haven't even touched metal yet. No, we have. Wood workshop. Yeah, workshop. Smelter. Yes. Absolutely. Scavenger flag is here. All right. So, what should we do then? I guess we do ultimately just need a ton more science. These guys are keeping our entire area powered. Guess it's not too bad. Not great at the moment, but not too bad either. So let's see. Let's keep going slow. So if we need that power wheel, at least for another 3.2 days, I could, in theory, how many? 3 of them are in there. You know what? Let's unpause our inventor huts to get a bit more science going. Just making sure. Do we still have any builders? And I don't think so, to be honest. So what could we pause? I guess at the moment we have all the farmhouses paused. Yeah, not great. Wait. How do we only have 5? This is paused. That makes sense. So let's put you on a slightly higher priority. Now this wasn't slightly higher. All right. This way we can make sure we have at least 2 workers in here. And I'm not entirely sure where the other workers were drawn from, but I think that's just overall alright. I guess that is our biggest challenge at the moment, is getting more beavers back. Just so we can run our settlement a bit better. They are working, all of them, so that's not bad. We could add another breeding pod, but I honestly don't quite know if that'll be good for us. Where can we draw workers from? Hold on, we don't need 2 of you. Good, we got 1 more worker. You guys are still free in here. These are actually not working. I guess we haven't even utilized anyone to make fermented mushrooms. All right. We had 1 more coming in. Should also just unpause that, just to make sure we're getting enough beavers coming in here. Don't quite know where they're all going. Alright, this will do. One worker at least. I'm excited for the drought to be over, because then we can pull these beavers away from here and balance out our workforce a little bit better. I guess I could pause the lumberjack up here. I will actually do that. Because that again, nah, still not enough beavers to actually do any real work. Whew. This is rough. I guess we could look into getting the advanced breeding pods out. Let's have a look at that. 1,000 science, it needs treated planks. We can produce treated planks. So that's pretty nice. And then metal blocks, which we also have. So that shouldn't actually be a problem for building them. But they do take extract. And extract is locked under, no, under here is the centrifuge, 200 power. That's a bit rough. Anyways, regular water and bad water are coming back, which means I will pause the manual power wheel. They should now provide us with all that we really need. That's pretty good. Let's get actually, we don't need to get this started. Let's see what else we can do. We can definitely raise this again to 4. Still lacking 3 beavers for the work, but at least we're building our dam up a little bit more, which will definitely be useful. We were a little bit low in this drought. So let's keep doing that. Food overall, again, still looks pretty good. We could, in theory, prioritize building one of the water tanks, so we finally store a little bit of water. And I will actually do that. And most importantly, I mean, this is the Iron Teeth playthrough. We need to figure out what our next industry will be. And maybe it should actually be an engine. I think we talked about this last time. I had taken a little bit of a break, so oops. Basically forgot everything. But you know what? Let's unlock the engine and already place it. Because this will definitely come in very useful in the next drought. And it, well, I guess this might be updated water physics. Look at that. It balances out, so that's pretty good. Yeah, still a ton of power output as it stands right now. Anyways, putting in the blueprints for the steam engine, or actually getting to build it in this episode, I think will be the way to go. Long term, we also need to definitely unlock the mine. That's 4,000 science. Ooh. We also need that sooner rather than later, I would say. So maybe it's also time that we figure out some storage system for our beavers. And I think we can actually just build all of that up here. If we're doing that, let's actually, let's just go ahead and do this. Tubeway station. Just trying to see if there's anything else that came in with the new update. I guess nothing of real importance. Doesn't seem like it, at least not on this map. Bit of a bummer. Now, we could also unlock the bad water. Right. I do need you guys to actually build this. 20 metal blocks, not too bad. Gears have been utilized for something. What did you guys use gears for? Oh, yeah, water storage. That's the one thing that I wanted to build, isn't it? All right. So we're not gonna wrap up the overall dam here before the next drought hits. A bit of a bummer, but overall okay. But I do think we should be able to get that steam engine going and keep us powered without having to spend a ton of our beaver workforces in order to get this done. So we do have regular storage over here. We have also built some very weird housing options right there. Interesting. I still have 18 open beds, so don't need to worry about the housing at all right now. Considering the smelter is currently paused, I can also pause our scavenger flag. So that will be nice. And then, yeah, ultimately we need to figure out more storage space for the rest of our material. So we are currently still producing everything right here. We might move these. I forgot if I had talked about this in the last episode. We could move them in theory up here. Could be quite nice. But how would we... How would we put any storage in here except for hiding it on this side? Yeah. Yeah, don't quite know. Maybe we do need to hide it on this side. Right, bottom line is we need to build some storage, so let's go ahead. We can always rethink it later. Right, so here, that's a good spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Build this as high as we can. And then we could unlock some spiral staircase action. I like that. Let's do that. All right. Make sure all of this is connected. We also need to so this would be too high. So we can place this here. This would go in, still need to go over here. All right. I think that will actually do the trick for us. Could even put one then on top of all of that. Future worries for now. So let's make sure all the spiral staircases are in and all the paths are in. Even the ones that aren't necessarily needed right away. Yep, you are connected. That is good. Another one in here. And then we'll just go over this way and make a path along this side. There we go. Right, now they can actually build all of this. We do need some treated planks. I don't know if you guys have seen the spiral staircases. I do think they look pretty darn awesome. So I'm excited to build some more. In the drought, didn't make it in time to actually utilize or build all the gears that we need for the steam engine. So manual labor it is. And then in the meantime, we can already set this up. You can store planks, more planks, I guess metal, because why not? And more metal. Right, that will give us a good amount of storage overall. Wish they had the underground storage facilities, but I guess, well, no. Alright, we're going a little bit low in terms of food, so I will unpause the hydroponic gardens again. Well, one at least. We have a little bit of water storage, not a ton. But those two pumpers should actually be doing the trick, to be honest. So I shouldn't worry too much about this. Notice something. Guys, 1 second. Go. I don't know if you guys could see that. All right. Here we go. Just rearranging some of the desk. Things have changed around here a little bit, so yeah. Just getting accustomed to stuff again. Right, 19 days of drought. Which actually makes me think we should really high prioritize all of this and these. Which also makes me think we should have a higher priority on our builders. So we'll be okay in terms of logs for now, planks for now, so I will pause this. You only need 2 more. We're very soon going to be there, and then I can pause the gear workshop as well. I guess we're not that desperate in need for the treated planks, so let me pause you for now. Let's see, 23. We do have the gears already in there. So slightly lower priority on these. And then we... this shouldn't be here. Alright. Set you to be cut down. And then we can actually just build a staircase over here, and they can reach this from both sides, which ultimately will be very helpful. No haulers. Oh, I guess that makes sense. All right. In that case, hauling post. Where should we put you, though? I kind of feel like up here would be a good spot, even though we're blocking some of that area off. We could, in theory, I guess we need to explode this out. But that's not happening. What could we put here? No. No, I don't like it. So you know what? All opposed for now. Again, always can reconsider stuff, highest priority. And then we're setting you to just be 1, but on a regular priority, which means there should be 1. That I could actually also pause now. So they definitely get the hauler post done quickly. Right, once the hauler post is in, we are actually then producing more food. We do have, again, 1 beaver in the mushroom department active. Will that actually keep going if I pause this? No, cultivation halted. Oh, the crop will die. Interesting. Alright, a bit low on food again. And here I thought we had kind of figured this out. I guess we don't have any farmhouses to harvest any of the kohlrabi. So let's unpause that. Good. This is also going, and apparently it needs water. Yeah, I guess I'm not used to building steam engines. Huh. District 2. Makes sense. I destroyed the first one. Alright. I'm glad the steam engine is in, though. That is a good progress for our industry. We could also unpause this. What is the third recipe? soybeans. We're not planting any soybeans at the moment, but what we can do is remove all of this. Nothing is prioritized. You should prioritize planting as well. So stuff regrows. And otherwise our beavers are, yeah, building our dam. All right. I do kind of want to finish this side over here first, because then I don't need to think about it anymore. And they should have a slightly easier time getting everywhere. We should also high prioritize this staircase over here. Again, so they can, once they get to it, build the dam from 2 sides rather than just 1. And besides that, just adding a bit more pathway system in here that will ultimately help us reach everything. All right. Really low on water. I guess now we have more water using facilities. So let's unpause the next water pumper. Although we might be rinsing through our storage real fast. Well, we'll see how it goes. All right. We do kind of just need more baby beavers. I guess we do have 5 of them, just waiting for them to grow up. Once they're actually all grown up, we're okay-ish in terms of vacancies. Could still improve that, but yeah. Also, I remember we kind of blocked everything off back here. So all of these trees up there are kind of pointless, right? Although, who cut you down? Weird. Anyways. So that's doing okay. I guess we could unpause the wood workshop, and considering we are actually producing 400 power, we should make good use of that 400 power. And with this, we will then soon be able to create that spiral staircase system up here. I do like that it goes around the corner. In one of my recent live streams, in case you guys caught it, you can actually build a nice staircase on a 2x2 grid moving upwards. Pretty awesome. We'll never be able to leave that grid, but that's a different story, right? Well, actually, you will be able. It will disrupt the whole system a little bit, but yeah, that's all right. All right. Where were we? We're still producing a ton of science. I guess I don't necessarily need all of the science, but what I really would like to get going is the number cruncher. Where is it? Here it's 1,500 science. It does need 500 horsepowers or beaver powers. That's quite a lot. And I'm not entirely sure how we're gonna get that much power. Yeah, I think we need to unlock the permanent opening of the bad water source. I don't know if we'll be able to get to that in the next 4,000 science. Yeah, no. Maybe it's time to think about dynamite moving forward. Because once we have the dynamite, we're again in a little bit of a better spot. Also of just terraforming things around here a little bit more. And giving ourselves a bit more space moving forward. The area up here is nice and green. Untreated planks still have 23 pine resin, so we're doing okay in terms of that. And they're actually doing pretty well in getting the dam on this side up and running. Doesn't seem like we're currently going down in terms of wood supply. Also not too bad. Water supply has gone up. Good. And food supply is kind of stabilized-ish. Yeah, I guess more like ish. But we can always unpause the second farmhouse, or actually just add a second beaver into that farmhouse to keep things moving a little bit further. And I'm going to start this because I think we just started to dig into our berries. Although now we have a ton of fermented cassavas again. Huh. Alright, anyways. Still doing overall okay. This piece of technology, very, very useful. I will for now actually destroy our manual power wheel and make sure these guys are picking up all the logs. So yeah, they're kind of cleaned up. Wish the mods were still back on, but considering I'm playing this with the 1.0 version on experimental, yeah, won't quite happen. Alright, anyways, I think that is an okay episode of getting back into the thick of things. So, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.